Hello, 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 and welcome back to another Sunday Sector Review, where we like to say Sundays are for sectors. This past week, the movement was to the downside. We did mention last week about those gaps, and boy, did we get them. But before we get into that, let's jump into our Forex calendar to see where the volatility may come from this week. As you know, the government is still shut down, and most things are still tentative. We do have a bank holiday on Tuesday, and there are some Fed speakers on Wednesday. Thursday, CPI is still tentative, as well as the unemployment claims. They have crude oil inventories and more FOMC members speaking 30-year bond auction. You come to Friday, our red folders are still tentative, which will be PPI, core retail sales, and but we also have a FOMC member speaking as well. So double check with whatever website you use to look at your economic data. I personally use Forex Factor. It'll let you know what is being released and what is not. Okay, so for the new candles that are opening for this coming week on the 10th, this Monday, the 2 day, the weekly, of course, the 2 week, the 4 week, and the 11 week. I will be looking at the month like I normally do, even though we just started, but we are 1 week in, so let's see how we have fared out so far. So, without further ado, let's start with the VIX. So, VIX on the monthly, we're starting off an inside month. We've rejected the 2231 here. I'm gonna pull up some of these. I do remember mentioning last sector review the trend line that we were looking for VIX to break. I think it had broke the trend line and it did continue up. We did mention how the time frame continuity, it was full time frame continuity, and so it lived up to it this past week. So right now, like I said, we're inside month. It was the 11 week. We are out. We closed as an outside 11 week. We will be opening inside this 11 week, which will be right at previous month's high at 1948. The 4 week fell 2 up on the 4 week. The 2 week fell 2 down on the 2 week. The weekly 2 continuation to the upside, but as you can see, heavy rejection at 50% of the previous month, 2231. I also had that marked as a price target. We discussed this, so it hit it and rejected. What was the weekly? Okay, so the 2 day. We are failed to up on the 2 day, as you can see that rejection. The daily, same on the daily, and we can go down to the 4 hour and we can see how VIX is targeting this LR to the downside. I want you guys to pay attention to that because I will be discussing that again throughout the video. So as you can see, this can be taken out. SPY on the monthly, inside month. We found some support here. There is a gap target at 660.64, which also coincides with the 3-month open. So we found some support here and pushed up. We'll zoom down to the lower time frames and look at that. 2-2 continuation on the 11 week. All time highs is still at 689.70. 4 week. The 4 week is a 2 up. Um, I don't know. There's a week here, so I don't know if I really want to consider this a shooter like I would have done this one. But rejection. We are still above previous month high, so that is a good sign. We haven't lost the previous month yet. The 2 week is a fail to up. The 2 week. The weekly close as a 2 down, but also as a hammer. It's a big body hammer, but a hammer. The 2 day close as a hammer. Now this is more like it. And as you can see, what I was explaining earlier, how we found support here at this gap target, also which is here in the same area as the 3-month open, which makes that very important. We did close below 50% of the previous month, but like I said, this is just the first week. So, and we do get a new 2-day Monday. And we hammered on the daily closing as a failed 2 down on the day, sweeping that 3-month open and finding some support there. Time frame continuity. Oh, well, let's go to the 4 hour. My bad. We had a gap down, and now we have an aggressive move back up on the 4 hour. We closed that gap. So, I would like to be. I'll give it a little bit more room. I would like to be bullish above 673.05, or even 673.87 would be even better. But right now, this low was swept. This gap was filled. All the gaps were filled. The gaps that we were discussing last week, and yeah, all the gaps were filled plus more. I got a little bit more than I asked for. So, last week was a very good week for downside. But as of right now, time frame continuity, I'm bullish. I would like to see a little bit more confirmation before I would just, go all in on being bullish. But this is a start, and 673.05 would be even better. ES most likely, the vibes. It's the same thing. Start on the monthly, inside month. Let me cut this off. Inside month, our high is 6953.75. 11 week, 2 up on 11 week with some rejection. The 4 week, the same as SPY with this candle that's similar to a shooter, but not quite a shooter. 2 week, a failed 2 up on a 2 week. The weekly, a 2 down, but hammer vibes. Close these gaps. Well, we filled these gaps. The 2 week, the weekly, the 2 day. The 2 day is a failed 2 down on the 2 day. We got these lows swept, and we did target and wick perfectly off of 66.55. And now we're back above the 3-month open, 50% of the previous month, and almost above the daily. So unlike SPY, we are above 50% of the previous month still. Or have we lost? I don't think we lost it on SPY. Let me go back real quick. Oh, we're under it on SPY, but not by much. Well, ES is above it. So we did, at the end of Friday, I believe we got a push up. The daily closed as a hammer on the day. So Friday closed bullish after the great sell-off. So is the bottom end. For now, we'll see. NQ, the monthly on NQ. Y'all know all these pretty much look the same. We'll go through it. NQ, same thing. The all-time highs are still intact. We're inside month. 11 week, two continuation to the upside. 4 week, the two continuation to the upside. Fell 2 up on the 2 week. The weekly 2 down on the weekly. A 2 day. It is a 2 down, but it is a hammer. So as you can see, ES is a bit stronger than NQ. It did not close above 50% of its previous month or 50% of the previous day, like SPY and like ES did. But I don't know. I still believe we gonna let Monday open. Me personally, we gonna let Monday determine how how we gonna play this, because there is still some room for downside, especially if something comes out over the weekend, or anything gets said about this government shutdown or anything else. We could revert back to the downside. As of right now, I am currently bullish based off what the chart is showing me, but yeah, we will make a note that ES is a tad bit stronger than NQ at the current moment. But just like with ES, the 3 month was tagged. The AMR, the average monthly range, was tagged as well and bought back up. We just didn't get that 50% of the previous month. Qs, pretty much the same. Inside month, the all-time highs are still intact. No new all-time highs. 637.01. 11 week, 2 up on the 11 week. 4 week, 2 up on the 4 week. 2 week, fell 2 up on the 2 week. The weekly 2 down on the 2 week. 2 day, 2 down, hammer on the 2 day. The daily closed as a hammer on the daily, closing up these gaps that we mentioned and gotten a little bit more. I can't remember exactly what price I was saying, but I know I didn't mention all the way down in the 500s, but nonetheless, good job on closing up all these gaps, getting them filled. So that's why I am optimistic for the upside. But like I say, I am personally gonna let Monday play out before I really just make a decision, unless it just becomes an aggressive move to the upside. But I don't know. I don't think so. IWM on the monthly. Now it is not inside. It is a 2 down hammer on the monthly. The 11 week is a 2 up on the 11 week with our all-time highs still at 252.77. The 4 week closed as an outside bullish hammer, but it's also a doji. So we want to pay attention to that. The 2 week closed as a 2 down on the 2 week. The weekly closed as a 2-2 continuation to the downside. And the 2 day as well closes a 2-2 continuation to the downside, but also as a hammer. As you can see, we hit some main targets, did sweep this low from October the 9th and found some support, which resulted in closing the day green as well. And look at the 4 hour, the gap down, the hammer, and the aggressive move through the gap. Lower time frames, do look pretty bullish. So we'll keep an eye on that. Time frame continuity is giving more bullish than bearish. So maybe after our sell off, this is our little bottom. And that's gonna look like that for the majority of the indices. We'll just you know how we run through them. But if you pay attention, most of these definitely all look the same. DIA, all time high is still intact, 480.39. Inside monthly hammer, we tap. What is this? I had this tap. I had this marked out. 464.48. Y'all remember what I had that marked for? Well, whatever it is, it tapped it and it definitely found some buyers there. So let me see the 11 week, 2 up on the 11 week. The 4 week close as an outside bullish candle on the 4 week. The 2 week closes a fail 2 up on the 2 week. The weekly closed as a 2 up, 2 down on the 2 week, but closing as a hammer. As you can see, man, I really wish I could remember what this was for, cause it ain't got it to. That's a good spot. We did close above 50% of the previous month, like the others, but DIA is lagging a bit. Did get a gap close. Let's go to the 2 day. 2 day is a 2-2 continuation to the downside, but did close as a hammer. We also did close under this breaker structure here on the 2 day. It would have been really nice if we would have got above that, closed above that, but and a failed 2 down hammer on the daily. As you can see, we got our gap closed. Time frame continuity is a bit mixed, but like I said, we would want to see how Monday opens up for all of these anyway. Do like the 4 hour development as we're getting ready, looks like to push up. For this, I would like confirmation over 471. So which one you want? SMH is inside a month. All time highs is still at 372.78. The 11 week, 2 up on the 11 week, 4 week, 2 up on 4 week. 2 week is a failed 2 up on the 2 week. The weekly closed as a 2 up, 2 down. But also, are we considering that a hammer? I don't know. Probably not. That body too big. 2 day. Now this is more of a hammer. 2 day, 2 down hammer. As you can see, got this gap filled. The daily, a better hammer, 2 down, gaps filled. Didn't quite sweep this low. That's okay. The 4 hour, not like the others, closed as an inside 4 hour. So we'll keep an eye on that. Did not close the gap like the other indices so far. So we just keep an eye out on your semiconductors. Time frame continuity is leaning more bullish. Like for the others, need a little bit more confirmation, and then we can give it a go. XLB on the monthly is hammering. It is a fail 2 down on the monthly. It's a fail 2 down on the month. The 11 week is a 2 down on the 11 week. The 4 week is a 2 down on the 4 week. The 2 week is a 2-1-2 down on the 2 week. And weekly closed as a hammer on the weekly. Okay, got a hammer on the weekly. Then the 2 day closed as a failed 2 down. So 2 continuation to the upside with a hammer on the 2 day. And the daily closed as an outside bullish daily. Let's see what we got on the 4 hour. And the 3-2 on the 4 hour. So higher time frames on XLB are weak, but you gotta start somewhere. Lower time frames are looking a bit bullish as if they want to turn it around some. There's a gap here to the upside. Would have preferred this to close over previous day high, but it did wick above it to let us know this is where it wants to go. This market structure shift here where it rejected would be where I would I would like for it to go ahead and fill the gap, and then I would be more confident in the upside on this one. But it did sweep the lows that I had here, so that is awesome. It actually swept it almost. It got below it. This is what I wanted. Yep, I wanted 84.20. It got 84.07. So kudos for getting that low swept. And so now this might be a chance for either some compression or back up to the upside. The lows are in. So we held the yearly open. Now we're back above it. So I would pay attention for some upside on XLB, even if it is short term. I would like it to, like I said, close this gap first. So above 86.20. XLC on the month. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, XLC on the month, you are a 2-1-2 down on the month. You did get a sweep of 50% of this compression, but we'll go down to the lower time frame so we can really see it. 11 week is still a 2 continuation to the upside. All time highs is still 119.55. We got some heavy rejection there still, but we are still above 111.69 so far. 2 down on the 4 week. If we lose it based on if we lose 110.86 based on the 4 week, if you're a 4 week participant, you could definitely target 108. Your entry will be below 110.83. 2 week close as a 2-1-3 bearish 3. So we could potentially be looking for a 3-2 to the downside. The weekly, here's the 3-2 on the weekly. So the weekly did play out that 3-2. It did close to the downside, and this is what I was mentioning earlier. This was a compression that we talked about weeks ago here, and this is 50% of the compression, and as you can see, it wicked right off there, which is 111 even, so a psychological number as well. Let's go down. 2 continuation to this downside. On the 2 day, we did close below some key levels, which is also a market structure shield. We did close below this low. We closed below previous month's low, and we also are below 50% of the previous quarter, as well as the day low of day. So XLC is looking pretty. It closed pretty bearish, and so look, here's the weekly, a 3-2 down on a weekly, and 2-2 continuation on the 2 day. As you can see, closing below this market structure shift. Not even holding this breaker structure here from the past. So the daily did close as a hammer. We gap down in the hammer here, and like I said, finding support here. But we will really have to see how this plays out. Time frames are looking weak. You saw it. So this would have to. This would have to get above 113 for me. XLE. XLE on the monthly. I'm not going to. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I'm gonna go on record. XLE looks good for right now. We gonna break it down. Don't be all surprised. We gonna break it down. But yeah, XLE looks good for right now. The monthly is an inside hammer on the month, looking pretty bullish. The 11 week is a 2 up on the 11 week after 3-1-2 up. It did hit these targets from previous when we talked about them last time and rejected. So now we're back just below previous month's high. And don't forget the month did just start. So the 4 week closed as a failed to down, and as you can see, pretty nice hammer. I mean, not hammer. I'm sorry, pretty nice candle. The 2 week close is a 2 up hammer. Now that's a pretty nice hammer. Here's an even better one. The weekly close is a 2-1-3 bullish to the hammer to the upside. Nice weekly candle. 2 day closed as a 2 up. And the daily close is a 2-2 continuation to the upside. Here is a SR flip here. If we can get back above previous month's high at 89.93, I'm bullish on oil. We'll continue to be bullish on oil to about 82.45. And if it can get 93, then God bless it. But yeah, over this 89.93. Full time frame continuity is to the upside on oil. So if y'all want to pay attention to that, y'all might want to. See, I told you, don't oil look good. I know a lot of us don't like it, but hey, we gotta call a spade a spade. And remember what I said a couple of sector reviews back. Hey, you gotta get what you can get out of oil. It looks good today, and it might not look good tomorrow. You have to scalp oil, okay? I'm just giving y'all the game plan. Don't get in here and bag hold this XLE thinking it's gonna look like this all week. No, this looks good for probably 2 days. Okay. XLF on the monthly. XLF on the monthly, we are hammering on the month, bullish hammer on the month. We found some support at that 51.54. I did mention that on last review. We got down to it and got down to that area and held it, and now we're back bullish. Fell to up on the 11 week, 4 week. Fell to down on the 4 week, 2 week inside hammer on the 2 week. The weekly closed as a fail to down hammer. The 2 day closed as an inside hammer after a 2-1, so we'll be looking for a 2-1-2 up to the upside. Off the 2-day, the daily close is an outside bullish day, and the 4-hour is a 2 down, 2 up reversal on the 4-hour. XLF is looking pretty good. There is some compression still. It's been kind of playing around, but it's also kind of showing its hand that it does want more upside. See, we just see all this is just really still compression. We do need this gap filled. That would be great. Targeting 53 even, and that would also be a psych level, so watch out for that. I do have targets at 53.20, 53.19, 53.25. So yeah, time frame continuity is bullish. So yeah, I kind of like XLF. But I like XLF, but get further dated contract. Don't play it like XLE. You can actually buy time on this one. XLI. Inside month, hammering off of finding some buyers at 50% of the previous quarter, and 151.03. All-time highs is still 156.99. 2 up, continuation on the 11-week. 4-week, 2 up on the 4-week. Failed 2 up on the 2-week. The weekly, a 2 down hammer. Did fill this gap. Two-day closes a doji, a failed 2 down. And the daily close is a 2-1-2, or failed 2 down. Not bad. And the 4-hour and the 2 down, 2 up on the 4-hour. So looking kind of bullish. Like I said, if we keep going, if you pay attention, a lot of these sectors are gonna look like this. So I just want everyone to be careful. I think this is what I want to show y'all. And then if you go through the sectors, I meant to show y'all. I meant to drop down to the hourly on all of these, but you can do it. This is some LR that I want everyone to pay attention to. This is an awesome upside, but it can also be cleaned up and be brought back down to the downside. What were we looking at earlier? I mentioned it earlier. God dog it. I hope y'all paid attention, because I think it was NQ. What were we looking at? Okay, I'm not gonna make the video long. But anyway, pay attention to your hourly on the lower time frame. This can easily, that's why I say we're waiting on Monday. This can easily be brought back, cleaned up and brought back down and turned into a new low. And if you look on the hourly, on the majority of these sectors, they all look the same. So that's what I want to show y'all earlier. I'm glad I didn't forget. But see, look at XLK hourly. It's strong, but we're in a gap, and it can reject here and come back and clean all this up. But let's start off with the monthly. XLK on the monthly, we're inside. All-time highs is still 305.99. The 11-week, we are a 2 up on the 11-week. The 4-week, we are a 2 continuation on the 4-week. As you can see, we did get some rejection, just like with everything else. Failed 2 up on the 2-week. The weekly closed as a 2 down. The 2-day closed as a 2 down, but a hammer. The daily closed as a 2-hour hammer. As you can see, tapping the 50 SMA, getting very close to the 3-month open at 280.42. Sweeping these lows here. Didn't quite get previous month low, but that might be okay, or might not. Like I said, we might come back, and if you drop down, like I said, to the hourly, you can definitely come back and get that. But as we know, we play what we see, and there's an objective. Like I'm giving the objective to the upside, I have to give the objective to the downside. So that is still a possibility with all of these sectors. There is a gap. We are in the gap on the 4-hour bullish close. I would particularly like to see, I would be, the safe side for me would be over 291. Give me 290, 291. Time frame continuity is a bit mixed, but it is looking bullish. XLP on the monthly is a fail to down. I've been screaming and kicking and screaming for 75, 6. I mean, what was it? It was 75. I think it was 75.80. Y'all know, y'all can go back and look. But I remember screaming for 75, and we finally got it. We reached 75.18. Didn't get quite all the lows, but hey, it was a start. So we look like we're getting some support here. We can drop down. The 11-week is still pretty bearish, but the 4-week, 2 down on the 4-week. The 2-week, 2 down on the 2-week. The weekly closed as a failed to down hammer, sweeping previous month's low and coming back within it. The 2-day closed as a 2-1-3. Oh, outside bullish 3 to the upside. Could possibly looking for that 3-2 continuation to the upside, and the gap is filled. Would like it better above this breaker structure, which is at 77.16 and even 77.56. We all know how XLP move. It's a very slow mover. ATR is only 88 cents, so might need to give this some time if it really wants it. Our first green candle after all these red candles, so potential CCRP to the upside with a gap. So XLP currently does look bullish to the upside, so I like it. I like it to the upside for now. XHB Home Builders. Home Builders on the month. Failed to down hammer. Nice little hammer. The 11-week closed as a fail to up on the 11-week. The 4-week closed as a fail to down on the 4-week. So a little mix. 2-1-2 down on the 2-week. As you can see, we are within a burning formation, and we tapped this one to the T. So there was some support here, some buyers here at 102.05. I do believe I mentioned that last review. The weekly closed as a fail to down hammer on the weekly. We got a sweep of the previous lows here, and we're finding support. Was able to close above the previous day high on Friday, so that is a good sign. On the weekly, the 2-day closed as a 2 up on the 2-day. The daily closed as a 2-1-2 to the upside on the daily. Let's see, look at that. Nice. And we're back above the yearly open at 105.47. So we got that flip. In the 4 hours, a 2 up on the 4 hour. Time frame continuity is showing bullish. So yeah, I like it. It's home builders for the upside. Not too bad. Here go our stubborn friend, real estate. Y'all, shout out to y'all for putting real estate in the chat last week. For the ones who did it, appreciate you. We are still in this compression. The monthly is green though, so yay for the monthly. We are green. We are in fail 2 down on the monthly. Looking like we found some support down here after sweeping 40.28. This has been the area, if you look at these previous weeks here, just within May. If you even look back from May, this has been an area where buyers have been interested in. So we'll see how that plays out. The 11-week closed as a 2 down on the 11-week. The 4-week closed as a bullish 4-week, but the rejection at previous month high at 42.65 was something serious, baby. It rejected big time. 2 down on the 2-week. A failed 2 down on the weekly, and we are above a breaker structure here. That's good. The 2-day closed as a bullish outside 2-day, and the daily closed as a 2 up on the 2-day. The 4 hour. The 4 hour close as a 2 up on the 4 hour time frame. Continuity is to the upside, but baby, we know we still in this conference. We still in our little box. But if you would like to play the range, play the range. You can definitely play the range. There's some money in range. But until we get out of this yellow box, we still in here cooking. But you can definitely play within this range. It's been recommended. XLU. Now, I looked at XLU earlier, and I believe I like XLU. XLU inside month hammering on the monthly, kind of like quite a few of the others. The 11-week 2 up on the 11-week. The 4-week is a failed 2 up on the 4-week. All-time highs are still 93.77. The 2-week closed as a 2 down on the 2-week. The weekly closed as a failed 2 down hammer on the weekly. Didn't quite come test this breaking structure at 87.64, but that might be okay. It really would have preferred it. That would have been great. But we did close right above previous day high, so on the weekly. And we closed as an outside bullish 2-day on the 2-day, and 1 on the daily. So XLU is looking fire. Like we looking real good on XLU. So we looking for a 2-2 continuation to the upside for XLU. Here's some LRLR here. Our first target will be 91.97 from here. The close is 89.69. So definitely looking into XLU. Second target will be all-time highs again. So time frame continuity is to the upside. So definitely keeping an eye on utilities. Same for XLV. We've been rooting for our girls since September. So if you've been rocking since September and you hopped in XLV back when I first mentioned that it was the season for healthcare, then kudos to you. You should be doing very well because we are in the month of November and healthcare been going up since September. Inside month. Inside hammer bullish month 2 up on the 11 week, which is different from literally all of the other sectors we looked at. Of the 11 weeks have been looking terrible on all the sectors except this one, except me. 3-2 continuation on the 4 week, looking for 3-2 up to target 150. That's been the target for a minute. 2 week, we close as an inside 2 week. This dragon font, this doji candle. So you know to play this. You know how to play this. The weekly close as an inside week. The 2 day closed as an inside 2 day, and the daily closed as a 2-1-3 hammer on the daily. So, man, healthcare looking fire. Like I say, targeting that 150. Might get some profit taking at 148, but 150 looks fire. And we want to go down to the 4 week. To the 4 hour. We are up on the 4 hour. If you can see, we are still in a bit of a compression here, but it is holding this 144 area to the T. So as long as we don't lose 144 on XLV, this looks pretty good for upside continuation. XLY on the monthly, we are a fail to up on the monthly. Didn't really expect this, last sector review, I was pretty bullish, well, low-key bullish on, I wasn't just gung-ho, but I was more bullish than bearish, definitely, on XLY, last sector review, and yeah, was not expecting this at all. Did wanted to see it continue to the upside and break all-time highs, but it had other plans, so 243.40 is still intact. The 11 week, 2 up on the 11 week. The 4 week and closed as an inside candle on the 4 week. The 2 week closed as a failed to up on the 2 week. The weekly closed as an outside bearish candle after being an outside bullish candle the week before. You see? But yeah, it did find some support at where we at 232 area. But it's still looking pretty weak. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't even know how. 2-2 continuation to the downside on the 2 day. The daily closed as a failed 2 down on the daily. Not quite a hammer though. So we did sweep these lows here on the daily, finding support at the lower part of the AMR at 232.87. The 4 hour did gap down and then closed the gap on the 4 hour. Found some rejection here at 236 like we found here before. Time frame continuity is a bit mixed, but it's also more bearish than it is bullish to me. So we will have to this one I would really have to see. I'm waiting on it. Like I said, I'm waiting on Monday anyway to see how Monday plays out. But this is one I really have to see play out first. And last but not least, my loves, XME, Mentals and Minings, my guys and girls. We are a 2 down, but we're a hammer on the monthly. Definitely did find some buyers here down in the in the mid 80s and low 90s. So the 11 week is still 2 up. The all-time highs is still at 111.09. 4 week close as a failed 2 up. 2 week close as a 2 up, 2 down on the 2 week. weekly close as a 2-2 continuation to the downside. The 2-day closed as an outside hammer. Outside hammer 2-day to the upside within the gap. Didn't quite close it. Gap close will be above 94.65. So didn't quite close the gap. Closed within it and closed pretty strong. The daily as well. We are still below a weekly broad information that I have here. This yellow dotted line. And like I say, need to close the gap. Would like to see a 3-2 continuation to the upside, getting above this market structure shift at 95 for better confirmation. 94.50, 94.60 could do it. 94.60 can do it. Give me that confirmation for the upside. But XMB does look good. Looks like it maybe could have completed its pullback from that run up and could be ready to continue back to the upside. We need to hold that that 88 area to sustain some upside. Some cool, nice little LRLR here. Not much resistance. Really could see. You can see 97, and then you could possibly see 99 as your first two targets if XME really wanted. So, and that is it for me, my loves. Let me see what I want y'all to say. Did you make it to the end? Y'all know I try to make it. Try to make it as short as I can. This one wasn't that short. We almost made it into an hour. But I'm gonna wrap it up. Type in hour at the end. Let me know you made it to the end. I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm always loving to do these things. So until next time, let me know what your favorite sectors that you're looking at. I'm going with XLU, XLP, XLE, and XLV healthcare. Also keep a watch on XME. Looks pretty decent, so keep that on watch as well. But those are my favorites. You let me know down in the comments what are yours. Let me know you made it to the end. Let me know hour. The word is hour. And until next time, Sundays are for sectors. Peace.